Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
In the sea, there are big fish and there are little fish. The same is true on land. But which are you? Isn't it time to define yourself? At Shark, we have different Shark credit cards based on your level of insecurity. Let your credit card color define you. Go on a shopping spree with a red Shark card. The great white Shark is a beast of a card. Everyone in the restaurant will see it and know you are the ultimate predator. Tiger Shark is for the flamboyant spender. The Bull Shark for the violent, aggressive predator who hunts in all kinds of environments. Or there's the charitable basking shark, the card for the slow-moving liberal with no teeth. Shark for the apex predator.
Shut up and sit down.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 461 of Third Shift. Today is a wonderful day, a beautiful day. All sorts of good things in the gaming community are happening. But I'll tell you what, we're not going to talk about any of that because with me today is my buddy, my pal, the inglorious bastard himself, Mr. Matt. And of course, before we get on to the show's business, we got to see what Matt's been going on about this week. What's he been doing? I don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows. But you're about to find out. Matt, how you doing? What's going on?
Feels like a weird week because I feel like I didn't do anything and I had to think. I was putting in the show notes last night and I went, golly gee, what's Matt been doing? What even happened this weekend? Oh, 2 big wrestling events. AEW All In was there. It's just a phenomenal show. It's like their big WrestleMania type show, big stadium show, and just amazing matches, amazing performances. Just, God, geez, just wonderful and a good time. And full of moments that I'll never forget because the main event was a Texas death match between Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page. Now, I will say not every AEW show has big gimmick matches on it, has hardcore matches or anything. But when they do it flipping crazy and they do it 2-11. I will never forget. There's a moment, it's early in the match before anything crazy has happened. Moxley pulls out a fork. A traditional wrestling weapon fork. Hangman pulls out 1-2. They get in a brawl. Hangman's got him. He's on his back with Moxley's head there, and he starts forking him. And you just see it. The blood starts coming. It's just the most brutal and like the perfect camera angle. Like, you see stuff happen in wrestling, especially hardcore stuff. You kind of get numb to it, but it's like, that was it. There was no gimmick. There was no faking it. You see it. And the rest of that match went flipping crazy. Blood, gimmicks, bunch of returns from people who had been injured and out for a long time. So not to just put all the focus on the gimmick match, there were traditional wrestling matches all the way through, which were also phenomenal. AEW does amazing stuff. Great show. Wonderful show. Every big event they do, you leave with a smile on your face, even if the storylines don't put you with a smile on your face, because you're just like, damn, I just watched like 8 hours of phenomenal wrestling, and it was great. And then WWE also had a bunch of events that weekend. The next day, they had their Evolution all-women's pay-per-view, and that was a lot of fun, too. A lot of different matches, different matchups, all kind of good stuff. So it was a wrestling weekend. And outside of that, I didn't do anything. I felt like a bum, felt like a loser, because the only other thing I've done in this world in this week was play 100 Line Last Defense Academy, and I haven't even played as much of that as I want. I can't figure out why, but it feels like I've really shorted myself on it. But I told Eric this, I finally crossed the 50 ending threshold. I think I'm at 52. So there's 48 more endings out there for me to experience. And I'm at I got to be at 145 hours right now. Game's crazy. Game's great. The branch that I was on was revealing all kinds of stuff that I didn't know, wasn't expecting. But that branch had bad endings because I didn't remember somebody's advice when they said, hey, make sure this thing happens. Otherwise, I feel like bad stuff's going to happen. I did the opposite, so I saw all the bad stuff. Now I'm on the other branch where I did the thing, so maybe it's all good stuff. I don't know. Way different things are happening on this branch. It's so cool. The game is so awesome. It's so great. And it's just, even when I get a bad ending, I'm usually delighted by the thing that's happening. And that's been happening nonstop. It's so good. What a wonderful game. I haven't played any Death Stranding since I hurt my hands, but I'm looking forward to streaming that some this weekend, at least, even though we have the busy weekend that Eric and I keep talking and complaining about. But that was all for this week. What about you, Eric?
Oh, well, by golly, it was a busy weekend for me. I was actually going all over the place, getting good barbecue, going and seeing movies, doing lawn work, doing this, doing that. And I was also, of course, playing some video games. But before I tell you which games, I told you I saw a movie. I went and saw 28 Years Later. And I was happy with it. It was a good movie, a lot of fun. It was really strange because the actor who is Voldemort in the Harry Potter series, he's in this. And I just couldn't get Voldemort out of my head. I was just like, oh, Voldemort's hanging out in the woods doing some crazy Voldemort stuff. There he is. That's old Voldemort in the 28 Years Later world. So it's kind of strange just because I couldn't separate the two, just because he was so similar, his character, while not evil in this, but just strange. He had that same kind of weird nuance and whatever he was doing. It was too close. He was too close to Voldemort, but it was really good. I will say this. If you have watched 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, there's no continuity here. In fact, they actually just like completely abandon some of the events from 28 Weeks Later and just recreate a fake past. So I don't know why they did this. I'm not really sure what happened. I don't really, look into movies that much and see if maybe the directors are different or something's going on here, but the events from 28 Weeks Later really don't mean anything because the story just gets narrated to you at the very beginning about what's going on. And then you just watch this small group, the small town, just living in the UK region and doing what they do. But like I said, I still had a good time with it, but I am mildly upset because I was hoping to keep the story going in continuity from the previous title and see what was happening in the world, but they just retconned it, and now it just is what it is. So with that, I still recommend it if you like the previous two movies, but like me, if you wanted something to keep you going with it, like the series story, it's gone. They just totally changed what happened, basically, and have a little singular story here for you. So enjoy. It was good. It's fine. And with that, of course, I played a little bit of Liza P, because as I told you last week, and I'll tell you again, I'm kind of just chunking through it, little bits at a time, till it annoys me or something happens, or I just get a little bit further in and, do a hard fight or, well, it hasn't been super hard, but do a fight and then I'll quit. And that's been fun. I hope to speed that up a little bit, though, because I want to make sure I keep in with one of the, not real resolutions, but kind of our half-step resolution, which was Matt plays a certain game, I play a certain game. So I intend to fulfill that. And I want to get it not over with, but done before the next big games come out come September, because we got quite a few of them then. So I've been doing that, and I've been playing this other game called 100 Line Last Defense. I don't know. Nobody's really talked about it on this show, so I'll go ahead and bring it up again. Man, I'm telling you, if you ever heard of this game, you're going to love this game. It's a good game.
Oh, tell me all about it.
Oh, well, why don't I? So I'm not finished with the actual 100 days portion yet. I'm on day 52, I think. 52 or 54 at this point. And I love the hell out of this game. But the only downside to it is that I don't feel like it's a easily accessible, can play any minute of any day type game. I need time to play this game because when I get going, I want to go. I want to get them days flowing. And of course, in between those days, you never know which day it is. You get this huge battle and a huge story dump, and it ends up being like a 2-hour stretch of shenanigans and craziness. And so, like, to me, that means, well, I want to be able to commit. So every time I play this now, I'm like, I need a 2-hour stretch at least so I can make sure I can get through pretty much anything that comes my way.
The one thing I was going to tell you when we talked about this earlier in the day, I think we got off on some other tangent, some other thing. This game does do a really good job of keeping autosaves. So if it's like, oh man, going into a battle, you can just, if you want to, okay, I don't have time for battle, just shut down, quit. It will autosave at the start of that event that leads into the battle. Or if it's like a big story sequence and you're like, okay, this will probably be 5 minutes. Oh, it turned into 10.
I gotta stop.
Yeah, either do the manual save. You could there. Even when you load that, it'll start at the beginning of that segment. So you don't like forget and get all mismatched and whatever. It's pretty good about that. If you ever are like, oh man, here it goes, but I don't have time for it. Bloop. You can just dip out.
Gotcha. I was trying to look and see where, like, because you usually got the save symbols popping up. And I just must miss them all the time. Because I do know, yes, the game does save a bunch, because there's been times where I did do that, where I'm like, I gotta go to bed. I can't anymore. So I just turn it off and go, I'll just have to redo whatever. And lo and behold, I'll turn it back on the next day, and it's like right where I left off pretty much. But I never see those damn symbols.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I'm always worried, like, oh man, where did this thing save it? I don't know what the hell to do. Oh, and then that's when I get all worried, and then I keep playing, and I shouldn't, or I stop and just hope for the best. But well, with that, maybe we'll tone it down to where at least if I got an hour, we can play. But I'm having a good time with it. Like you said, the characters are crazy. They're zany. They're just off the wall. Weird stuff's just constantly happening. You don't know what the hell's going on. Well, to an extent you don't. But I'm piecing some of it together. I'm wanting the characters to start piecing it together, but they're still just not piecing it together yet. And of course, I may be completely off base. But either way, these characters, I'll tell you what. I'm like, come on, you guys. I need you to start thinking. You got to try a little bit harder here. But once again, I'll give them this. If I was thrust into this scenario and these random battles were constantly happening, I probably wouldn't be going, let's critically think about everything happening here. I'd probably just be worrying about surviving the battles and eating food and continuing to be alive. So whatever. I'll give it a pass. But yes, I do love it. I'm so glad I did purchase it way back in the day when Matt was talking about it originally. And we'll get through it. With that, I think that's been my gaming week, man. I think my whole time has passed with that.
Here's a gaming week that people might be looking forward to this week, because I'm going to tell you about Eriksholm, The Stolen Dream, which launched on the 15th, so just a couple days ago as we're recording this, developed by River End Games, published by Nordcurrent Labs for PC, PlayStation, and Xbox Series consoles. And I'm going to tell you, I subscribed to PC Gamer a little while ago because I wanted some video game magazines, and I feel like in 2 separate issues, they had big, deep dives and like previews on Eriksholm. And I'd never heard of it before in my life. I've never seen a trailer for this game or anything. This is a small indie studio. I think they're in Sweden or somewhere around there. It's like a European studio. They made this game, which is a narrative-based stealth game that takes place in a Swedish area in like the 1920s or 10s. You play as a character, I believe her name's Hannah. Her brother goes missing, and after he goes missing, the cops come beating down the door very like sternly looking for him, and they're going to take you into custody. And that's why she decides, no, I'm going to look for him on my own. Every preview I've seen of this game, it's glazing it to the moon. Every review I've seen is also glazing it to the moon. So it's very weird that I've never heard about this game ever before that. So I've watched a couple reviews, I think from Gaming Bolt and Eric's Gaming. I've read those 2 previews, and this game looks like a lot of fun. For a stealth game, you would picture like third person, over the shoulder, sneaking, hiding in tall grasses and things like that. But this is like a top-down isometric style game. So you're pointing and clicking, manipulating guards with thrown objects, making noise over here, do this, do that. Incapacitate guards. I think at one point you can get a blow dart to put people to sleep. Then you have to hide the bodies and all this other stuff. So all the stealth things you would expect from a stealth game, but just from this really unique isometric perspective. So you can tilt the camera, find routes through, watch the paths of the guards, and then manipulate them from that top-down kind of strategic almost view, but you are moving your literal character around doing all those things. I won't go into any spoilers, but there are some other characters that join this adventure that you also play as who have different abilities, and I've heard one of the characters plays a lot different from the other 2. But what's really cool about this game, one of the things you wouldn't expect, small indie studio, top-down isometric perspective, this game is gorgeous. It looks really good from that perspective. But all the narrative stuff, all the cutscenes in this game, they don't take place from up above. The camera flies in, and it's like proper cutscenes with awesome graphics. I haven't watched a ton of this game because I don't want to spoil anything for myself because it sounds really interesting. But the performances I've seen, motion captured well, the voice acting is really great. One of the interesting things that I read it in PC Gamer, so I thought it was cool. They're an indie team, and for the costumes, they went to like a local theater, high school or college, and were like, hey guys, do you want to design costumes for this game? So they worked hand in hand with actual like theater students and made all these costumes for the digital actors in these cutscenes. And I don't know, this game just looks really cool. It sounds really good. I've heard the stealth gameplay isn't the deepest that it could be, but with the presentation and especially the cutscenes and everything, I think it knocks it up to more than the sum of its parts, as everybody likes to say. Now, I don't know if there's something else hidden in here, because the reviews I saw, the previews that I read, they didn't talk a lot about the story other than that setup. Now, I assume there has to be something really deep or really emotional or like a really big twist, because the game looks good and it looks great. But to be so positive about it, I feel like there's something that I don't know yet. And I'm excited to see it because just the game itself looks good, but everyone else is just like, man, this is something very special. So I'm excited to see what that is. If you're interested in a narrative-driven stealth game from a very unique perspective, from a small European studio who put out something that looks phenomenal, like it looks and sounds really good, check out Eriksholm: The Stolen Dream. Maybe you haven't heard of it just like I hadn't, but you're hearing about it now, so go check it out.
Man, you want to talk about perfect games, beautiful games, wonderful games? We got another one for you. Donkey Kong Bananza has finally hit the Nintendo Switch 2. This is the game that everyone's been waiting for Nintendo Switch 2. All right, Mario Kart World was awesome, but this was the one. This was the platformer people wanted. And apparently, the reviews are coming in hot. They're coming in 9s, 10s, 10s, 9s, 10s. Wonderful. I'm so stoked for this. This is what I've been waiting for myself. I've been itching for an old school platformer, and I was worried. I gotta tell you, I thought it was neat, but I was kind of worried when we saw the trailers and previews for this game, because of course it's Donkey Kong, and he looks awesome. He looks wonderful. But of course, this one is actually made by Nintendo and the Odyssey team, to be more specific, not Rare, not the old school peeps and guards of the Donkey Kong franchise. Nintendo's got their hands right back on this one, and they went in a different direction. Instead of it being a side-scrolling platformer like it used to be, it is now this massive 3D world in which you go in and you just destroy it with your Kong abilities, go into town. The whole shtick here is that you go onto this crazy place and you want to find the stolen bananas from these other evil apes, and you're going to go get them because you're Donkey Kong. All right. And to do that, you got to blast through these different layers of this planet and dig your way all the way down to the big dogs to get what you want back. Now, to help you do this, Pauline somehow magically as a rock forms, comes in, boop, boop, turns into Pauline. You're like, yay. And Pauline can then, of course, assist you as you're going through these layers. She magically transforms you into these different beasts, which gives you different powers, which allow you to do more as Donkey Kong and get you to different spots. So there's that whole mechanic there with you being different versions of Donkey Kong and doing that kind of stuff. But Donkey Kong himself has a whole bunch of different abilities, double jumps, double stomps, rolls, this and that. And you're going to utilize all this stuff to find all sorts of cool collectibles and mission items, etc. in this world. And like I said, I was worried because it showcases you just digging and busting through rocks and doing this and doing that. And I wasn't sure if that was going to be fun. I was like, I don't know. It looks kind of neat, but I'm an idiot. And I could see myself just pounding straight down and like ruining my chances of getting somewhere. And then I just got this giant hole, because what's cool is this world changes. As you destroy this stuff, it stays destroyed, and your map even changes to showcase what you have done to said layer of this world. And so I kept thinking like, oh, I'm gonna screw myself. I'm gonna go down, and then like in every game I play, oh gee, no, I can't get over because I'm stupid and didn't create a path to get. No, from the reviews I've read, there's always a way to get through. There's always something you can do to keep going and get those bananas, because Donkey Kong needs them, and you're gonna get them. And that cured a lot of the sadness I had and the trepidation I had. And then of course watching these reviews, I was sold. This looks like an incredible time. You've got Cranky Kong in there. You've got freaking Diddy Kong in there. You've got all sorts of Kongs coming back. You got this new cast of baddies whom, from what I hear, I don't know myself, I haven't played it yet, are actually entertaining and neat and cool and might actually stick around and not just be a one-off sort of deal. But I was loving it. There's a skill trees and branches where you can pick different things to level up your Donkey Kong. And of course, to do that, you got to collect these different collectibles that are throughout the level. And then the master level, the master, bananas that you're actually going after to continue at the storyline. And then there's like the minor banana things you're going after that allow you to like change your appearances, which Matt was pretty excited about back, when we talked about it last time. Everything is there. And Pauline, from what I hear, is super interactive, always there, chirping and chiming in, doing stuff, helping out. So it's like this really cool, fun relationship, this whole dynamic duo between them, a lot like Banjo-Kazooie. All that's there. And then on top of it all, brand new DK music, not from the old school peeps, but apparently still really, really good. But if you're missing them old school beats, they do have some reimagined, revised versions from the old school peeps who did the 3 original ones. So you're going to get all them retro vibes in there. And apparently they do pay the respects and homage to Donkey Kong in general from beginning all the way to now. So I've heard nothing but good. Just good, 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 good. If you want a huge, big 45-plus hour platformer, this game apparently has it in spades and is going down as one of the best 3D platformers to date. And that's taking over some of the best Mario games, apparently. So I'm all in because I haven't played a good one since Odyssey. And so that's been, 100 years now? I don't know. So this is the perfect game to get into if you've been missing out as well. Switch 2 finally has its big break-in game that everybody's going to want to get a hold of. And I'm excited. Can't wait.
Yeah, I've been sold since that Donkey Kong Bonanza Nintendo Direct they did a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
So to see it actually come in with really good scores makes me feel really good. But then the other thing that definitely sold me was, I think it was just a snippet in certain people's headlines, but saying, oh yeah, if you destroy things and attack the levels in a certain manner, you can skip entire sections and skip through entire areas by ripping this out and throwing that over there and making yourself a bridge over this way or just pummeling through all this. And I was like, oh man, if you give me a very unique way that here's how I went through that level. It might be completely different from you or him or everybody. You can go back and redo it, obviously. But that just sounds like the cherry on the top of what already is a very cool game.
Yeah, and they said that they'll always give you hints at like the traditional path to find the different giant bananas and this and that. But just like you said, you could bypass it and find all sorts of creative different ways to get to it, and there's no punishment for doing it. They took the Breath of the Wild kind of mentality of just however you find the fun and however you find the stuff, that's cool. As long as you did it and you enjoyed doing it, thumbs up, great. So I love that. And like I already reiterated, they make it so there's just never a way you're just screwed. And that just, oh man, made me excited. I can't wait to buy this as a gift for the girls, and then they never play and I just play it.
I can't wait to buy this as a gift for me and then never have time to play it because I still got to play through 100 Line and Death Stranding 2.
And Alan Wake 2.
And I have to actually get to Stellar Blade because I was thinking to myself, if I haven't started it by August, I'm going to start it in August. Well, 100 Line might even not be done by then. I thought, well, okay, September. September will be the deadline. Borderlands 4 comes out in September. Oh, maybe, no, just forget it. Just forget it. You're just never going to do it. But the one thing that you all out there are going to do is listen to me talk about the Game Pass games for this week. I know of 2 awesome games that are here, but there are 4 games total. First off, I'm going to tell you, it's the He Is Coming game preview. I don't know anything about He Is Coming. It sounds kind of scary. I think there's like a shadow man on the box art cover that you see there. So I don't know. That seems kind of scary. And then, if you want to feel better, My Friendly Neighborhood. I think it's like cartoons and animals and things. Good stuff. But then, if you want to go back to the dark path, RoboCop Rogue City. Fantastic game that everybody loved. I got in one stream of it and then didn't have time for it ever again. But from all accounts, that's a great game. Everybody should be playing it. And then one of my games of the year for the year that it was released 2 years ago, I think, maybe at this point, High on Life. Nobody has any excuse. I think it's been on Game Pass before, but it's back. Dude, you want to talk about a funny game, a game that made me laugh out loud several times as an adult human being, High on Life is it. Go check it out. If you haven't played it before, play it. Play it a lot because High on Life 2 is coming. So get yourself ready for that. Whenever that's supposed to drop, I don't know when that is, but High on Life's a great game. RoboCop Rogue City is a great game. I'm sure there's other 2 games are great too. But man, High on Life is so good. Everybody should play it.
You should. And you can go over to Epic and play some other cool games. And by cool games, I mean one game. That's Civilization 6 Platinum Edition. This is not for me, but I'm telling you what, this is for a lot of folks. A lot of folks dig that Civilization stuff. And now you're getting Part 6 Platinum Edition for free, no bills charged. That's great. That's good news. I'm so excited for all of you Civilization fans out there who aren't real fans because you didn't actually buy Civilization 6 when it came out and you waited all this time for the Epic version of it. Okay? You're fake fans, but I still want you to go enjoy it.
Maybe you bought it on Steam and now it's like, oh man, now I get to do those 1,000 hours of Civ 6 again.
On Epic too.
On Epic now. Woo! Do they have achievements? They probably have achievements.
I don't know.
Epic-
I think
ep-
they got
achievements?
something. Yeah, there's something because I remember there being little ding dings. But for whatever reason, Steam and Epics, I just don't care about them at all. So it's one of those I don't pay attention to them.
Phooey.
I don't know. I don't know why trophies mean something to me and the others don't. That's a topic for a whole nother day. It's so weird. It makes no sense. But that's not here nor there. Amazon free games, folks. You got them too. Get on over there. You got Endless Space 2 Definitive Edition. This is a game where you're in endless space. All right. You're just traversing space and you're doing it and you're having a blast and it never ends. You just keep going and going and going and going. Do you find anything? Who knows? What's that Liam Neeson dude? The black guy, gray him out, whatever. He tells you there's no aliens. So probably nothing out there. Whatever that guy's name is. Tyson.
What are you talking about? Liam Neeson guy. Liam Neeson guy, the black guy. Oh yeah, the tall white Irish actor. Yeah.
Who's that scientist? The
Neil
black
deGrasse
dude.
Tyson is who
There
you're
you
talking
go.
about,
He
yes.
says there's no aliens, so you're gonna just be traversing. You're gonna be traversing this empty space forever. I don't know. Maybe it's not a great game. Maybe don't get it. I don't know. And then you got Besiege.
No. I'm jumping in because I'm going to say if there's no aliens, then I'm going to like it better because it's just me exploring planets and doing things, doing the No Man's Sky thing. I don't need other players. I
But
don't
they're
need
all
bases.
dead,
I don't need
rocky planets. Those are
No,
boring.
but you get to see the biomes and things. You get to
There's
see all the
nothing in
different
it.
things.
Because if there was any sort of life, it'd be life. There's no life.
No,
just
you're talking about aliens with like laser rays and things. No. I want to see I don't even care about life. I just trees, biomes.
No, he said there's
things.
nothing. He said there's not a single planet out there with any other life. So there's nothing, man. These are all just rock planets. Rocks. You're just out there looking at rocks.
Come on,
I know.
Look at the biodiversity as far as planets go, just in the solar system. You're like, no, everything is just dead rocks. BS.
Dead
BS.
rocks
I don't
and
buy it.
gas.
That's-
Gas.
No,
Acid rain.
That's stupid. That's
Oh,
dumb.
goodness.
Anyway,
dumb.
it wouldn't be in a game that way.
I
So-
know. That's right. It ain't going to be in the game. There'll be all sorts of cool stuff in this game, I'm sure. It might even be about that at all. It's probably some horror game where you're just stuck in space, like one movie where they go to hell through the black hole. It's, whole thing. I don't know what these movies are.
Maybe you're like in the negative zone. You're the bad guys from Superman 2. It's like, endlessly we're stuck in space in this 2D thing.
Then you got Besiege, the Splintered Sea DLC. I have no idea what this is, and it's a DLC, so if you haven't played the main game, this probably isn't going to help you very much. When they do this kind of stuff, it's so strange to me. I'm like, well, this is for like an extremely particular group. You're going to give me a DLC for a game that we don't have. That doesn't help me. I mean, maybe it entices me to buy the main game, so now I have this free DLC with it.
I'm making the money hand gesture,
exactly.
folks.
There you go.
know it.
So, whatever. Go check that out if you're interested, but some cool stuff. And I can't tell you what they are because I didn't go do the research, but I just saw some article spring up on my phone right before we did this. Like, go get your free games from Steam right now. They're only here for a little bit longer. I think it's like 4 games on Steam. So I was like, oh, that sounds cool. I don't know what they are, what's going on with Steam handing out free games. But apparently there's some games on Steam you can get for free. I don't know if this is actually true or if they're lying to me, but it popped up on the phone, Matt, and you're the Steam guy. And I don't know anything about Steam. I don't know how I'd even access the free games. You told me once, but I forgot already.
Discord did the thing that I hate the most. I went to the Wario64 channel under freebies. It was bold and it had a little arrow. So when, hey, new stuff. So I clicked on it and there was no new stuff. So I scrolled up to see if I missed it and I didn't miss it. So I scrolled down and then new stuff appeared. Why wouldn't you just show me the flipping new stuff? I don't understand, except it's not listed here either. But we do have free Ghost of Tsushima PSN avatars here.
Oh, wow,
and then
okay.
you can sign up for a notification for when Blue Star Extreme gear for Sonic Racing Crossworlds will be available via your Sega account.
Oh, I can't wait, dude. I'm buying that game for sure.
Dude, okay, we got to take a side tangent and talk about some Crossworlds because I think it was the Game Informer issue that I was flipping through during lunch.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. Maybe I'm just dumb and I didn't notice this in the trailers, but I didn't know about the Crossworlds part of Crossworlds.
Yeah. Joker's in there.
No.
Yakuza.
No, not even just that. They said in this article that like when you're the leader, you find these ring-shaped portals.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you
jump.
go in and it makes a whole new like environment, whole new track. And some of them it's like extreme versions. So like the preview that the one guy wrote about, it's like a super jazzed up ring. So he popped into that one. And not only did it cross the worlds and make that lap in a completely different track and universe, that had boost pads all over. Things were exploding like it was nuts. I didn't know that's what this was. I thought this was just a kart racer, and then it's Crossworlds because Joker's there and Yakuza's there. No, you're like crossing the worlds in the game. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I knew all about that. I was so stoked when I went and watched a bunch of that stuff. And then of course, like I said, topping on the cake was the fact that you get Joker, you get all your Yakuza peeps, and the only thing I'll say is I really hope they expand on that and you get more than just Joker. Like, get the whole team in there. Why? Because they've got some crazy crossovers coming. I think they've got SpongeBob or some weird ones coming into this game, too. And I'm like, WB characters and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, you already have Atlas at your disposal. And of course, Sega as a whole. You don't even need those extra ones. Just bring in, like, all the different Chie and all of them. It goes on and on. You got a roster of hundreds and hundreds of characters. Don't give me some wacky, zany, out of the left field stuff. Come on now. Give me the good ones. You know who I want.
No, when you were saying that, I was like, hell yeah. But then I'm nodding and I'm like, man, but I want something real strange and real out of the blue and real wacky. I want something like, and I don't even know if it's a Sega game. Like, I want Opuna from the Opuna game on Wii. I want that character in this game. I didn't even play that game for more than like 15 minutes, but I want that. I want something strange. Oh man, gee, you wouldn't want somebody crazy like Chicon to come in and like be racing on a racetrack.
Oh, yes,
you
I
wouldn't
would.
want that. Let's not do that.
That's a dream. Oh, imagine going to a Chicon world. How badass would that be?
I don't even know.
All of a sudden, you wouldn't know, man. Oh my god, hurts my soul. But yes, there's a lot of potential with this game. I think this is a good one for me and the girls to get to play. So I can't wait for its release.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I didn't really know anything about it until I read that Game Informer preview, and that just sold me. Like, I don't know if it sold me, but in my brain,
at least got you interested.
Where I haven't bought it, had to put down money for it yet. Oh, I'm sold. I'm absolutely sold. That's how I feel. Yeah.
So with that awesome news and the up news, and we didn't give you any of those Steam games that are free, but I promise you they're there. Go check them out for yourself. We're gonna go down a little bit, okay? Because PS Stars program has announced that it's releasing its very last collectible, and it is the PS Star itself. And it's a kind of a thank you and a, hey, we're glad you played these last 3 years and this with using this program and blah, 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 blah. And the only thing you got to do is play any game on your PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4 to get it. So what's it to you? Go grab it up, get that PlayStation Star, and always remember this neat program that just got nothing but grief from podcasters and everybody. I never will understand why this thing got grief so much, because all it did was get me free money to buy more games, and all I had to do is click stuff and play games. I just don't get what happened. But it's over now. They gave up on it, so oh well.
I mean, we talked about it before when they announced that they were closing it down, like how stupid people were to not even know the benefits that it gave you. But even if it was just the digital collectibles, okay, sure. For most people, who cares? But for most people, who cares about trophy hunting either?
Yeah.
Nobody. It's a digital little bling bling. It's not even like a thing you can look at. It's just like a number next to your name. But people love that stuff. So to look at this and just be like, blah, I never understood it. Obviously, I got a free game out of it. You've gotten free games cumulatively out of it.
Yeah.
It was just a great thing. I hope something new like that comes along I guess they've all pretty much shut them down, right? I think Nintendo still has their platinum points that you can earn.
Yeah,
that
but they
can sort of get free things.
Yeah,
it's not as cool as like the gold coins used to be, but you can still get the platinum ones and do a little bit of stuff with that. But I hope the companies bring back that kind of thing on a more regular basis anyway.
Yes, indeed. Hopefully they bring something back eventually. We'll see. Time will tell. And of course, let's just stay down in the slums a little bit, all right? Let's just stay right here. We got another set of layoffs, everybody, coming. It's Virtuos Studios, the Yahoos who did the Oblivion remaster just recently, and those making the new Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater Delta or whatever it's called. Delta?
It's Delta, yeah.
Yeah, okay. They're making that too. They've also worked on all sorts of other games because they're this huge outsourcing company. But apparently they're laying off hundreds of employees, and Virtuos has confirmed as of 12:58 today via Eurogamer that it's basically due to a restructure at the company. And, but the rumors are flying that it had something to do with the underperformance and amount of money that they got from the Oblivion remaster that they did. But that's just he said, she said. The company only stated that it's just a restructuring of what they are. There's thousands of employees, but apparently 300 or so, 7% of them are going to be kapoots here pretty soon. Just another casualty of the consolidation and reformation of the entire gaming market as we know it this year. Just bummer news, always craptacular, especially on the release of a game that sold phenomenally well, did great, but apparently still just not quite there. Got to do something else.
Now, since we're staying down in the bucket, I didn't put this in the show notes, and I don't have proper notes about it, but I read a giant article on it. I believe it was from VGC, Video Game Chronicle, because they've had news nonstop over this past week about Krafton, who are the PUBG people, and the developers of Subnautica 2, all the heads of that studio getting fired, Subnautica getting pushed into 2026. And I just read up, like I said, Video Game Chronicle's big news drop about it with like the countersuit filing. Those fired heads of the studio are suing Krafton about, saying development is on time, it's going well, but that Krafton is basically snatching the game out of their hands, pushing it into 2026 to avoid paying like $350 million in bonuses and incentive monies to that studio, which they said they were going to distribute it among all the employees and have a great time. Kind of like you said, kind of he said, she said, because that's all the details of their suit against Krafton.
Their side.
And then Krafton says, well, actually, it's actually not on track, and they're screwing us over, and blah, 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 blah. Definite he said, she said, but just, it was all over my Blue Sky video game news, like all week. Krafton is a big, giant company, but when you have to pay out $350 million.
I think it was $250, just to be, I think it was $250 million. I could be wrong, but that's what I heard. I remember hearing, but either way, it's a ton of money. That's a lot of money.
Once you get into the hundreds of millions of dollars, we've seen how much a company will scrimp and save to get like, oh, we saved $1,000 by doing this. So when you talk about $250 million, like in that range, I don't know.
It's hard to say no, and I don't want to just bumpity bump through the other side either, because it's not fair. Krafton stated that the three heads had promised certain milestones, certain goals, certain things, and a certain amount of production value and work ethic. And they said that these three went on and barely came to work, that they were basically doing their own programs, doing their own games, side games, and
doing a movie also.
They were not fulfilling their promise to keep the developers of Subnautica 2 up to par, up to speed, making something that they felt was actually a true successor to Subnautica. So they said, to their dismay, the three heads just completely underperformed and did not follow through with anything they had promised with the development of Subnautica 2, and that they had already indeed pushed the goal line marker further for them once when this was all taking place, and they still did not supposedly meet their standards. Hence why they fired them and pushed the game back, which then, of course, would push that bonus right out the window because they're no longer meeting the 2025 criteria that was supposedly there. But they also stated, and I'm pretty sure about this, but it was days ago when I was reading up. There's tons of this stuff. I think they even stated that they still intend to give some bonus to the workers currently there. I don't know if it stated the whole thing or legalese or anything on that. So go read this stuff for yourself. But I just want to make sure that, yes, there's two sides to this. One side says that, they got completely screwed. And, of course, Krafton evil corporation, which all corporations are pretty much evil. Don't make any mistake of that. Was just shoving them out and doing this on purpose to make sure they never saw the light of day on that huge payout, which is very, very plausible. Very, very plausible. So don't act like I'm taking some corporate side here. But I just want to make sure that all the deets that I know anyway are out there. It was crazy. This is stuff, man. This is just nuts. I don't even know how this is even allowed. It's just, I don't get it. We changed our minds. Screw you. Screw you guys. You ain't getting no bonus. There we go. But we see it at our own companies and other companies. So, yeah.
And it's weird that so many things, where's the actual metrics? Because, I mean, I think in that suit they were talking about how it's either in early access or they've had beta tests. It's just crazy, and just crazy news that's been, like I said, everywhere this week. And I wasn't even going to mention it, but then it came up the next day. and the next day and the next day and today. And since we're on that down slope, that bad news slope, but I'm going to bring it back up because I could have sworn that the people who did Tales of Ken Zarazao,
I thought they were dead.
either the studio was completely gone, that's what I thought, or got like half the people cut, or maybe it was gone and then got bought by somebody and came back. But they have a new game coming out at the end of this month, which, spoiler alert, guys, is only 2 weeks away, called Dead Take, which is a FMV psychological horror game from that studio. And I saw it was a Game Informer thing about it saying, hey, here's this new game coming, which I think the game was talked about like at the beginning of the month or sometime last month. I totally missed it. But they said, hey, they revealed the full cast today. And in that headline, it said, and there's probably somebody you love in this cast. Because listen to this flippin' cast. You got Ben Starr, who is like the hottest voice actor man around right now. You have the next hottest voice actor man, Neil Newbond, who is Asterion in Baldur's Gate 3. And then I'm just going to read them all off. You got Jane Perry. I'm not familiar with her, but you have Matt Mercer, another big video game man. Laura Bailey, another big video game lady. You got Sam frickin' Lake. You got Travis Willingham, Alana Pierce, and Collar Colquhoun. I'm not familiar with him, but all names you know from all the games everywhere. So an FMV psychological horror game. I think your main character is the Asterion guy, I believe.
I believe he's the main character looking for his brother, Ben Starr.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love FMV games. FMV games are so fun and cool and quirky and weird. So to see all these people, all these wacky characters, some of them like on screen for the first time maybe, but just a mass of talent in a game coming up very soon from a studio that I could have sworn was dead. Either they did or didn't or whatever, but they're still around making what sounds like just a star-studded, freaking awesome game. So good news.
Yes.
I'm ending it with good news.
And I'll bring up a little more good news. Cyberpunk 2077 also finally brought out their next patch. It's out. You got brand new quests, which are going to get you new vehicles. They did a whole bunch of updates to this and that and this and that. They updated the HDR functionality and the VRR, whatever the hell that is. But in a nutshell, they said this game's going to perform and look much better now on your PlayStation 5 and your PlayStation 5 Pro and et cetera and all that good stuff. And on top of it all, like I said, you get more quests. So not only do you get all the quests and all the cool stuff from the DLC you never even played, Matt, but you're now going to have just more basic quests in the game itself. So this game is just the game that keeps on giving. All right. And it's wonderful. And it was so much fun. And I admittedly never finished the DLC. I got about halfway through it, maybe more, but I didn't finish it yet. So I too am guilty and I got to get back into that world. And I can't wait because also one of the things they added was automatic drive mode. So I can just go ahead and hop on my motorcycle, put on my favorite tunes, and then auto drive. And then it's got a cinematic driving mode. So you can kind of just see yourself zooming through the city, looking all bad mamma jamma, listening to your beats. Just vibing, man. Just vibing. And I am so excited to do that. I can't wait.
Now, I'm on a total flipping roller coaster right now. I'm in a glass case of emotion because A, that's great news. That's awesome news. Very cool. But B, you reminded me that on my New Year's resolution list is play Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. And the whole side of that was, well, when I get back in, I need to redo all my skills and all that stuff because I haven't played it since that big update. So I got to do that. Then I got to get used to the gameplay again. Then I got to go into Phantom Liberty. So I'm like, man, that's too much stuff. But when you were talking about that cinematic driving mode, hopping on the motorcycle and seeing my V like actually cruising through Night City in a cinematic driving mode, you saw me. I leaned back in my chair. I put my head back. I envisioned it, and I just went, yeah. Oh, baby. Yes. Amazing, amazing things. Great things. It's all good things. There's no sadness. There's no sadness.
Sadness is all drowned away. Only happy news. Only great news. Can't wait to just listen to my K-pop. Just
and continuing the streak from last week, we got a man at my door. He's reaching out a finger, and it's saying ding bong. Because we got ourselves another mailbag question from a buddy Knowable in the Discord. He writes and he asks, what is your favorite game within a game? E.g. Gwent or Triple Triad? I got a list, Eric. I got a list. Let's see if you hit any of these games on my list, son.
All right. Well, I'm pretty boring here, okay? Except for one. Triple Triad, of course, is on there. That's just a no-brainer. Grew up with that game. the cool little numbers in the corners, all the cool little different cards you had to go collect and beat other people to get. What an experience. It was, I think, and I could be misremembering this because I was young, but I think this is the first time a mini game actually got me to actually like it and play it actively instead of it just being a chore just to get through and to the end of the game or whatever I was doing. So Triple Triad is for sure there for me, Matt. The other one, of course, is the most recent FF16 Queen's Blood. This is another card game that I absolutely fell in love with, and I would play this game. What?
You're talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Queen's Blood, right?
Yes, sorry.
There wasn't
there wasn't
16,
nothing
yeah.
FF16. I don't know why I'm thinking that. FF7's Queen's Blood, fantastic game, perfect in like every way. Like I just said, I would actually play that one in real life. And I hear people actually have done 3D reproductions of all the cards, and you can indeed go buy them and play it in real life. So that got me interested. I might actually do that. Who knows? And then, of course, last but not least for me, it's not really a mini game. It's kind of just part of the game, but I'm going to count it anyway, is Catherine, the drinking game. All right. When I'm at the bar drinking with my pals, trying to manage how drunk I want to get for that night. And of course, getting them fine, cool little tidbits and knowledge on the different whiskeys and the drinks I'm drinking. And then, of course, wandering around and trying to find that right moment to talk to the different people before they disappeared or get what I need. That is part of the game. But to me, that's the mini game in the game because the main game, of course, is you going through your nightmares. That's the game. The mini game was you trying to keep them alive and drink the right amounts to get the different people in every night. And that was just freaking fascinating. And then, of course, you jive with the right music. And even though that wasn't really part of the thing, I felt like it was. Like, I got to get the right beat on for tonight. We got to figure out what we're listening to because I got to feel a certain way. I know this person's going to show up tonight and I got to save their butts because they were really stressed out in the nightmare the other night. This might be my last chance. And so this was like just a whole game in a game in this bar. And to this day, it's one, of course, me and Matt's favorite games of all time. But, when you said mini games, I'm like, that was a damn mini game. I don't care what people say. That's a mini game right there. And it was a great one. And I had such a blast with it. Go check that one out.
Now, before I jump in and bust Eric's chops, I do have to mention that we did get an immediate reply from our buddy Generic Tag in the Discord to this question saying Excite Bike in Excite Bike 64. So you could apparently unlock the original. Mm-hmm. I think I remember hearing about that, but I never played 64. When I read that, I went, maybe that's crossing the line into the proper game inside of a different game. So I'm going to start with that. I'm going to say Geometry Wars in Project Gotham Racing 2. I think it was inside your garage. There was like an arcade machine. And you could play Geometry Wars before Geometry Wars was a standalone Xbox Live Arcade game. And that game is phenomenal. I will play Geometry Wars to this day. Just put it down in front of me and I will have a good old time. Now it's time to bust Eric's balls. He talked about the Stray Sheep, which he didn't even mention by name because he can never remember the name of the bar that he loves so much in Catherine. What else is in the Stray Sheep, Eric? You ever heard of something called
there's
Rapunzel?
Rapunzel,
you ever
yes.
heard?
Yeah.
Yes. The even more puzzle-based of the original puzzle-based.
Mm-hmm.
When I was thinking about it, I was like, there's something with pushing blocks. What the hell is it? And I admit I had to look it up because the first playthrough, when we originally played it on 360, and I think you for PS3, I sucked at Rapunzel. I was horrible at it. But when we started playing through it on full body mode in PS4 times, dude, that's all I did one night, is I played like 27 levels of Rapunzel. And if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, Catherine's that game where you push blocks around in a nightmare. But Rapunzel is a lo-fi arcade game in the bar in the game, but it's more puzzle-based. You have a certain amount of moves you can do, and if you totally screw up and just drop the whole level, well, it's not game over. You lose a life, but you only have 3, and I don't think you can earn any more. But man, that lo-fi puzzle look at it, Jesus, it really hooked me.
It was cool. Yeah, I played quite a bit too. I didn't get into it as much as you did, but I played it and had a great time with it. And that was, to me, it was just part of the vibe.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, Catherine and the Stray Sheep, it was all, what was I feeling that night? Because I was always worried if I'm in Rapunzel, maybe I'm going to miss one of the characters coming through. So I was always like, kind of, oh, no one's coming. There was always those nights you knew nobody was coming. It was just a dead night. And I was like, all right, we'll get us some rounds of Rapunzel and listen to some music, go to the bathroom, see if, Ding Dong shows up, and then we'll call it a night. But
that's why I always did it last. I did the extra drinking for all the things, and I did that last. And that was like 4 hours later. I'm still in the first night. Oh, Jesus, I can't keep doing this. But a phenomenal game inside of a game. Now, kind of crossing the mini game threshold maybe this is too mini game, but it is so different from the actual game. The Cabaret Club mini games in the Yakuza games. I think they're in 0, they're in Kiwami 2, and then in Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. Those mini games are so much fun. I'm not a management gamer like those restaurant dash games. I don't do those. But this is that, but like the most fun version of that. Managing your customers' wants with the stamina of your girls and then popping in to help them out. When they give the sign, like you're the host coming in and you're not supposed to be disturbing the vibe of the hostess and the guest. She'll give you the sign. And when you've played it enough, without even having to think about what she's signing for. Like there's like different hand signs they do. And so you get better at being a host. So you interrupt them less. It's so much fun. Spending all the money on the girls, training them up, getting them all decked out in their different outfits, maxing out their stats here, there, and everywhere. Jesus Christ, I play that so much.
And of course, I gotta jump in. You're talking about Yakuza Like a Dragon. The mini game of buying up the different facilities and buildings and then managing them. That I was so reluctant to get on board with it. I didn't really want to mess with it. I just had no interest. And you and Shay kept going, brother, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. And I finally got in there, and then I was hooked. Hook, line, and sinker. Just managing these buildings, watching that just go, and then, of course, you made this much. I'm going, I can do better. I got to figure this out. What if I take this one out, move this here, do this, and do that? And then watching them numbers go, yes, I made another $100,000. Okay, now I can actually get rid of these two, buy this building. That was such a cool mini game, and I just begged for it to come and carry on over into the next Yakuza, and it didn't, and that was real sad, but a lot of fun while it was there.
Well, they made the island in the new one, so
I stayed away from the island.
there was like straight up game within a game with Rapunzel and Catherine. We've talked about mini games, but going back to straight up game within a game, I know this is a controversial one. I don't care. I loved it. Blitzball in Final Fantasy X, because I figured it out like right away. I think the deal that people don't like with Blitzball is they look at the main screen of the game and they see Titus swimming around and they don't understand how it works. But my eye instantly went up to that little corner with the mini map that shows you the 2 goals and where everybody's pointed. And it's like it's a simulation of soccer, sort of. You have to detach yourself from what's like the active gameplay of it and look up in there to figure it out. Man, I played so much flipping Blitzball. Anytime you had a chance to play Blitzball, I was in it. Anytime you had a chance to recruit people to make your team better, dude, I was all over it. Now, I've never fully beaten that game, so I don't think I got the optimal team. And is it close to post-game or like right at post-game? You can actually get like the best characters and go back and win the cup all over again to get Waka's ultimate weapon. That I've never done, but I loved Blitzball. I guarantee if I play it again, I will still love Blitzball because it's just, there's something about it for me. I know it's not for everybody, but it damn sure is for me, just like he's got it listed there. Gwent. The ultimate game within a game for me, so much so that I did buy those limited edition card packs. So I've got the Monster deck, the Nilfgaard deck, the Northern Realms deck, and the Scoia'tael deck. I have the physical cards. God. And they did it so well. Like they gave you this one little side quest to start playing Gwent in that tournament. And you could win or lose. Like it didn't really matter. But it just whetted my appetite. I think maybe the first game I played, I was like, I don't get it. But then by the second game, I went, oh, I do get it. And getting specialty cards from everybody all around. The training dummies that you play your card and then you play the training dummy to pull the card back. So I would blow my load, make the enemy blow their load with all their powerful cards to beat me in that first round. And then training dummy, training dummy, training dummy, training dummy. I lose the first round, but now all my stuff is back. Everything is ready and rocking and rolling for the next 2 rounds. Jesus, what a game. I'm only sad that the actual standalone Gwent, it doesn't have the magic for me. It's different. It doesn't feel right. But they put Gwent essentially into Thronebreaker, which is the best game ever made. So you already had the best game ever made. You made it even better in that. I will never not say that I love Gwent. Gwent was phenomenal. It didn't click with me right away, but it sure did eventually. Jeepers.
Hot diggity daffodils. That's a lot of cool side games, man. A lot of good ones, a lot of fun ones. I bet there's several I'm missing because I'm old and I can't remember stuff anymore, but there are a ton of them. And, I used to not like them at all, but over the years, I appreciate them more and more. So good on you, game developers. You keep putting them side games in your games. Don't worry about the haters.
And I'd still say triple try it if it wasn't for that damn random rule and all the different whatever. We've talked about it before. But another thing we talk about every week is Uncle Matt's Trivia Corner. If you remember last week's question, it was released in 2001. The large original Xbox controller went by what nickname? That's the Duke, baby. So we'll just continue on. For the next question for this week, a lawsuit was filed by Sega against the 2003 game The Simpsons Road Rage for its perceived similarities to what other driving game? That's a long question, but Sega sued The Simpsons Road Rage because it was similar to what Sega game?
What Sega game was similar to Simpsons Road Rage? I'm stumped. This Sega, is it Burnout? Burnout? Or is that old? I don't know. Burnout. Is that it? Oh, you're kidding me. Yeah, that doesn't make no sense. I mean, yeah, there's similarities there. I don't know. Sega, you're reaching, Sega. You're reaching. Did they win that? They didn't, obviously, because Simpsons Road Rage stayed around, so.
I assume not. When I first read this, I thought of something, but it wasn't the answer that it was. So I don't know what in the world I was thinking of. So I was just as lost and confused as you were. But if you know the answer to that question out there in podcast listener land, or if you have some other favorite games within a game, or you have any kind of feedback at all, tell us what you think about Dead Take and layoffs and PlayStation Stars and all the other things we talked about. For questions, comments, concerns, more mailbag questions, hit us up via the email, thirdshiftme@gmail.com, on the Twitter machine at ThirdShiftME. Find us on Facebook under Third Shift. Hit the Discord, the Patreon. If I'm streaming like I'm supposed to be this weekend, hit up a stream. Hit up my house. I don't care. Just knock on the air conditioner, and I'll be like, whoa, that's really strange. And I'll definitely hide in the closet over there.
Indeed, he will, folks. That's a for sure real thing. But you can skip all that and just head over to Patreon. We got a little tip jar there set up, like what we're doing. Want to help us out? Throw $1 in, $2, $3, all the bucks. Keeps the lights on, paying the bills, keeps us online, all that good stuff. And you guys have helped us do that for so many years, and we appreciate the hell out of it. You're all the best. We thank you so much. But if you can't throw bucks in, we get it. We get it. We understand. There's so many other ways to help as well. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, 5-star ratings on those applications. You can go over to freaking Twitch where Matt just told you. Give us your Amazon free stuff. And that's $5 for us for free right there. You can also go to the Discord, join in some conversations. You can throw us mailbag questions just like Noble just did. And we will give you so much fun and answers and all the goodies. There's a lot of stuff you can do to help us out. And we thank you so much for it.
And of course, you can also listen to the very next episode, which will be dropping on or around the 24th of July on iTunes and Stitcher, on Podbean, and Spotify, and on YouTube. And as I always say, hey, if you like what we're doing, like to help us out, please give us a like, a rating, a review, a comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any one of those good services, because it does help us out. And we really do appreciate it. There was something else I was going to say, but I forgot. So take it away, Eric.
He forgot it, but I didn't forget this. I got a problem. I got an addiction.
Oh, yeah. Open one on air. Let's see it.
I got a magic Final Fantasy addiction. And I'll tell you what, if I see some 5-star ratings, I'll just keep digging into this addiction and ruin my life. Okay?
Oh, dude, that'll get it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I start seeing those 5 stars come my way, and I'll just start buying packs like a psychopath. And I'll ruin my life. My wife she'll be so mad at me. She'll scream and yell. I'll be broke. I won't have money. And you will all be so happy to see me wallowing in misery, but happy. Because I've got hundreds and hundreds of these awesome Final Fantasy Magic cards. So you know what? Help us out. Because I'll spend the money on that. Your money that you give to me and help me with, and these 5-star ratings you send my way, which gets us more viewers, which gets us more views, which gets us more cashola, I'll ruin my life with it. So thank you.
I want to see you be the Final Fantasy Magic pack opening streamer with your wife leaning in that side of the film. What are you doing? Turn that off right now. Crazy. Shut up, baby. Open the cards I stream. Shut up. Leave it alone.
I'm trying to make money for us. I'm trying to make money. You got to spend money to make money.
And you're like, look at this. That's like a $60 card right there, babe. What, are you going to sell it? No, I'm going to put it in my card.
I'm going to put it in my
right
card
here.
collection.
That one's for me. That one's for me. I'll sell another one if I get another one.
Duplicates.
That's right. Oh, so with that, there's nothing else to say but.
Don't forget to say.
Shut up and sit down.